Good evening, everybody, and welcome to round four of the ARC Formula E Championship. We are in Santiago, Chile tonight. I am your host, Pfeiffer, and with me, as always, is my co host, Evie. 500. What's up, buddy? Happy Friday.
I am excited to be here, Fife, and it's the Santiago E-Prix here at Apollo Racing Club. This 1.4-mile track, it may seem short, but it's definitely complicated. It's also, as some people has referred it to, the toilet bowl track.
Oh, dear.
So if you take a look at the actual picture of the map,
I can see it now.
yep, it's a toilet bowl.
I can see
It is.
it.
So we might get a few jokes here tonight. That might oh man, I can't make a joke. I can't make a toilet joke this early, can I? Can I? I was
Well,
gonna
we
say
can just
plus
talk about. Oh, go ahead then.
I was gonna say we could talk well, obviously right now Tommy Kogan, he's gonna start his first hot lap around this track. This very, very difficult track. Going into turn 3 and 4. And this is where you can pick up a lot of speed.
You got to be careful though
And
as
be
you approach turn seven because that is as I say it, he clips the wall.
Yep.
You got to be careful at
You
turn seven, and then eight, nine, and 10 aren't easy either.
No, 8, 9, and 10 are definitely the complication spots for these drivers just because it's hairpin after hairpin after hairpin.
Yeah, it's going to be
Um,
tough to overtake here. It doesn't appear to be very narrow, but again, no runoff area really. You've got walls on both sides of your track here, and and Tommy locks up, runs off into the
is that
runoff
enough?
area.
Yeah, and then that's gonna. Then watching the practice earlier, a lot of guys are doing that, and it looks like Thornton he makes it through, but he hits the wall coming by Tommy Kogan, and that is who is on his hot lap right now. And this is what I was talking about. It's hairpin number one after hairpin number two. And nicely done there by Thornton. He hits the wall though. He hits the wall, the rear of the back in the wall, and now it's down to the start finish straight.
We're following Lewis on stream though, as he is
Oh,
appears to be I'm confused as to where he is on track. Okay, he is in 8, 9, 10. The icons are throwing me off here. It looks like he is not on a hot lap. He is doing some weaving here, so we will switch to somebody else and see how they're doing right now. So we ride along with T-Dog, Tim Wilkins, and he is being followed closely right now by Brandon Gobes. I'm going to go ahead and stream my point of view for you, Evie, so that you can see what I'm seeing.
that will not be necessary. I have the Twitch stream up, so
It's
you're
pretty
good.
delayed.
You're fine. I'll pay attention
So we have
because I
Tim
won't be
now
able to
through
see.
8, 9, and 10. He is coming down through turn 11, which is barely even a turn. I mean, it's just that long, sweeping bottom of the toilet bowl as they make their way up to the seat, which is turns 12, 13, and 14, the ziggy-zaggy part of the track, as I was referring to it earlier. So we'll see how he does with his first lap. Switch over to see our times right now. Fox across the line with the pole position of 109.9. Coogan just came across the line and goes with a 109.6. So taking provisional pole for the moment is Tommy Coogan. Riding along with, I believe you said his name was Neron, William Esper, as he makes
Yep.
his way down through the fast part, 5, 6. Got to be careful as he heads towards turn 8. Where am I? Turn 6 right now, yeah. So let's see how he handles it. This is where we saw Tommy Coogan smack the wall. He comes real close to that DHL sidewall, but he's through it just fine. And we saw it in the practice session. He was the fastest man for a little while. I can't recall if he ended up finishing on top of the practice session leaderboard, though. We're going to be letting the TV producer do a lot of the camera angles tonight, guys, because we have very obstructed views here in Santiago, Chile, as this is a temporary street circuit. So as you can see, they build it, purpose build it, put up all these barriers to keep everyone safe. And this is the 2019 configuration of the track. If you were to look up the track right now, you'd probably be a little confused as there's no chicane through 8, 9, and 10. And the zigzag part of the track has been switched around a little bit. So this is the 2019 configuration. And Neron came across the track, William, in fourth place with a 110. So he's definitely done a better time in practice. So we'll switch it up now and have a look at somebody else. Let's see how our friend Kriegs is doing right now.
Krieg, somebody who right now in the standings is definitely looking to make up some points tonight. He's currently P6, and he has currently 22 points, and he's 4 points away from Mr. Tommy Kogan. So
Oh my
this
goodness.
is this is definitely a race for him to capitalize on, because Kogan right now, he's the fastest man
Well,
on track with a 109.6.
Kriegs did crash there, but since you brought that up, I do apologize. Let's take a moment here just to have a quick look at our Formula E standings.
Fox win this race after winning such a dominant way last week. He raced very well and very cleanly and able to take away another win. If he can't keep up with Kogan, though, Tommy Kogan, that is going to have huge implications in the standings, considering with Tommy Kogan sitting with 26 points. A win tonight gives him 27 points. So that's something to look out for, because if he gets pole position here, that's an extra bonus point for him.
And look how close they are right now. They're both running 109.6s. They're only, oh, geez, Lewis right into the wall, unfortunately. And that's going to cause the traffic behind him to have to take evasive action. We saw Righteous Fire come through and Brandon Goves come through, and I saw a little bit of wiggle from Righteous's car.
Can we let's talk about Fox, because he is leading the standings right now. He's sitting P2. It's a very close battle. He is going on another lap, and now he goes P1 with a 109.3. And when we were sitting in practice, you and I were talking about, what are the times for quality? And I figured about a 109 was going to be really nice. So,
and Tommy Coogan's not going to be able to answer. He was just starting a hot lap after Sin posted that time, and he is in the wall everywhere right now, unfortunately. So that lap is not going to do it for Tommy, and he may need to pit to fix some damage. I don't know. I believe the damage was tweaked a little for this track because of the amount of contact these guys end up making with the walls here. Oh, geez. This is going to be a battle of attrition tonight. It could literally be anybody's race. Taking a look at Righteous Fire on the stream now as he begins a hot lap for Team Isan. I love that. Distinctly legal livery. And making his way right now through turns 2 and 3. Over to turn 4. I really hate when that happens. Coming down through turn 7, this is where we see, I was just going to say it, this is where we see everyone hit that DHL half wall. So his lap invalidated now, unfortunately.
Kriegs, he's on a hot lap as well. He's sitting with a 111.1, sitting in P7 as he's coming across. No, he's heading right to the pits, actually. He's going to call his lap, and I think here comes Brandon Goes, or Van. He's sitting with a 111.0.
Yep, but he looks like he's just beginning his hot lap as he is now in turns 3 and 4.
And one of the big things for Van tonight is definitely going to be to score potentially another 8 points as he's done in the past 2 weeks, but maybe increase those points, because if he does better than well, if he does really well tonight, he'll jump a couple of spots because of how close the standings are between this field. So Van coming up to now probably one of the hardest portions of the track. This is turn 9 and this is turn 9 and 10.
No, Van is about to cross the start finish straight here. He's making his way right through turn 14 now, so I'm not sure who you're seeing there. But Van is about to cross the line on his hot lap here. So let's see
I
how he
must have a
does.
different. I have a different track map than you because that was turn 11.
Oh, yeah. If you loaded up the 2020, oh, Van, as he was starting another hot lap, just absolutely clobbers the wall in turn 1. He drifted real bad and nailed the wall. So we will now switch back to Lewis. Lewis is getting ready to finish a lap. I'm not sure if it's a good one or not. We've seen these guys all making contact lap after lap with the wall, so it's real tough to get a clean lap in here, clearly. Let's see if he improves. No, no change in his time. Switch over to William and have a look at him and see where he is on track. William is just beginning his hot lap.
Where are we at for him? He is now coming across turn 7 and 6 and 7 and coming down.
And he hits the DHL wall.
Oh,
Everyone is hitting the DHL wall.
that DHL wall is causing some problems for some people. Oof!
The Heineken wall. Oh,
What did that
poor.
Heineken wall do
Everyone's
to you?
just having a rough time. Now we're taking a look at Thornton. He's just begun a hot lap, coming into the DHL sector. Makes the right, flicks it back left, does it nice and clean there. That was a good gap between him and the wall. But then again, right here, 8, 9, 10, and he hits the invisible curbs. Looked like he was on the blue and white curbing there. There should have been no problem at all, but the car jumped to the left and he smacked the chicane jersey barrier. Can somebody please help these guys? Taking a look at
Well,
Gobes. He's finishing another one.
and Gobes, he was one of those guys. He hit the wall pretty hard on his next lap. So, and now I have an updated track map. So there we go. I was looking at the 2020s. So.
Yes, the zigzag is different. There's no chicane, so it really throws off those turn numbers. Get very different. Here comes Craig now. I'm not sure if this is a good lap, if it's a valid lap, but let's have a look. No time improved, so we'll ride along with Craig for his hot lap right now, and we will go first person with him. Let's see. See if I can get that first person view up. Nope, doesn't want to give it to me. Come on. There we go. This is what these guys are seeing as they drive the car.
As you can see, Kriegs, he definitely has to put in a little more turn in on these cars. These cars don't like to turn as Krieg smacks the Heineken wall.
I think everyone's hitting that Heineken wall because they're trying to avoid those invisible curbs. So they're staying well off of the blue and white striped curbing there, because we saw what happened to Thornton on his last lap. It shot him right over to the left. So let's take a look at William. Where is he now? He has just gone through the DHL sector. He appears to still be on a good lap. Through the Heineken
section, and he makes it through. He doesn't hit the wall at all. Very, very clean. And that's definitely going to be the factor in this race. In the driver's briefing this week, they talked about, hey, minor damage does not constitute you pitting. You gotta have huge damage in order to pit in this race.
And there's a reason for that too, because if these guys pit, it completely and fully recharges the battery.
It really does. As we see William, he got a little loose coming out of the exit of turn, what was that? That was turn 12. So now he's coming across the start finish line. He does not improve. He was 2 seconds off his home pace, and he's going to remain P4. As a result of it, Fox now, he's coming across the line. He is now on a hot lap.
Righteous Fire. Hits the invisible curb. Sorry to interrupt you there, but he is now sideways in the chicane and has to teleport to the pits.
Let's see here. Anybody else?
That's
I think we can go. Thornton. He is still on a lap. He is coming to the end of his lap. It's actually much slower. Nope, it is not going to be enough. He got way too loose on the final turn, and that will be his lap. Indeed,
Let's
it's
see if
2
Craig
seconds.
improves. No, he does not.
And now it's up to William. Now he is out on the track still, but I don't think he has the time in him. Let's keep an eye on him because he is the only one. No, he's gonna go wide here on this hair on the final turn, and it's gonna be close. 106, 107. Nope, it's gonna be way off the pace, but it is. No, it's not gonna improve his time at all, but he's sitting in with a 109.6. So good lap for him. And now we're going to head into the race here, Fife.
Yes, we are. So I'm actually going to try to use the Helicam or the free camera here on Race Start just so we can get a really good overview of these guys going through the first few turns. It could be a disaster. This free cam is a bit difficult to use, but it's better than having the cam tool on the screen. As we wait for the grid to form.
So Fox is your pole. Is your leader
Shocker!
Shocker. But Kogan, he wasn't too far behind him. Tommy Kogan, he's definitely going to be looking for this win tonight. He's going to have to really, really buckle down in these in the first few turns and just to stay with him and not allow Fox to get such a wide gap here as we're taking a look here at the cars. These beautiful Formula E cars out on the grid. You can see both Fife and I were in the pits. We have no talent. That's why we are the casters. But look at that. Look at the helicopter shop. Ooh, look at that free cam.
Oh, it's so tough to use.
Nicely done.
Trying to turn my mouse sensitivity down.
But that is your grid. The lights will be coming on very soon. There will be 6 lights that will come on, and then 6 lights will go off, and away we will go. And now the lights start to turn on as we start the Santiago E-Prix here at Apollo Racing Club. There are the lights. 6 lights go on, and 6 lights go off, and away we go as Kieran Fox has an amazing starts and gets a huge lead off the bat. And now Tommy Kogan, he's going to have to defend from 3 different people trying to go up the inside of him. But he's going to go ahead and defend his position as Fox. He's just going to pull away from this fight very quickly. And now Lewis, he is trying to defend his position as well against William Neron and Kriegs. These two are coming very close. This battle is going to be very close. It wouldn't surprise me if this field doesn't spread out except for Fox.
And through the DHL sector the first time, everyone does it clean. Very careful through there the first time. Through the chicane through the first time. No one seems to be hitting those curbs. Everyone got through it just clean. Looks like Van might have rubbed the Heineken sign on his way out. Just wanted a sip. But Fox already tearing off to almost a 2-second gap.
He's quick. He is fast. He did rub up against the Heineken wall as well, but he maintains that gap. But Lewis, he is going to try and maybe look for Kogan here, but he's just now a little bit too far back. Thornton, he is within a couple of tenths now of Lewis. He could potentially look down the inside of the last turn here as he come down the start-finish straight, and he wasn't able to quite find it.
And I do believe that Lewis has changed his livery, as we only had one C3PO on track last week. But Lewis is going into the wall. Oh, no, that was Thornton. Thornton into the wall. Hard. Very hard. That's going to require a pit stop, I believe.
Yeah, that was Lewis. He might have lost his front wing, potentially, but...
Was it Lewis? The leaderboard gave me some strange reaction there, so...
Thornton is in P3 now, and William Neron is in P4, and he's chasing down Thornton. He sees him in his sights. He's getting a little bit of that slipstream and gaining a little bit of time here as we are going through the tough section of this course. As Thornton, he hits the wall with
a big sip.
Wing. Oof. He's going to have to be careful as Heineken. Remember, they always say, be responsible, don't drink and drive. But that green just looks so nice. I don't blame him for hitting that.
And a very big gap now is formed back from Neron. We have 2 seconds. Coogan, 4 seconds back to Sin. Sin is gone. My gosh, just gone. Look at him down the straight here. Just one lap, guys. 4 seconds for Sin Black Fox. This man knows how to handle these Formula E cars. Very impressive from Sin Black Fox.
Well, the question will be, what is the tire degradation going to be looking like later on in the race? It's a 45-minute race plus one lap, so it's definitely going to be something to be looking out for. Later stages of this race, Thornton, he is holding on to his P3 position right now with William Neron coming up very close behind him. He's only about 1.1 seconds off of off of Thornton right now. Lewis, he is kind of a sitting duck right now. He was sitting P3 as he's coming through the Heineken section and does it quite nicely. He has to really get on the brakes there,
Yep.
slow the car down, and that gives Kriegs a chance to gain on
And his
him.
car doesn't seem to be suffering from his damage that much. And I was going to say, as we started this lap, but I was letting you run there, was that we were seeing two people who have really seen a lot of each other the last couple of weeks here in Formula E. Brandon Gobes and Righteous Fire very close together, but now a little bit of a gap has formed back to Gobes to 1 second. But we have Kriegs fifth, sixth is Greshner in fifth, Kriegs in sixth, and Righteous Fire right behind him. Gobes just made up a ton of ground, and he is right back onto the back of Righteous Fire.
Well, Kriegs bumped Lewis there going on the inside into that difficult hairpin on this track. So, and this group, they're not going to go away. Righteous Fire, he was getting very, very close to this battle, a 3-car battle, but guess what? Van is there. So looking back at Tommy Kogan now, he has lost so much time.
5.5 seconds, and I'm watching Sin right now, and he is just silky smooth on the brake, on the throttle.
Well, we have our first push to pass used at the 40-minute mark.
Very early.
Here, very early, and that's going to be William Neron using that push to pass. So he's going to try and close this gap to Kogan as Thornton. He has lost a position.
Look at these gaps. 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. I mean, it is just spreading out. The result of a very, very tough track here, guys. Everyone bumping walls, losing ground, and those that are not bumping are just tearing off the front of the field right now. Sin Black Fox, 6 seconds.
We got a battle here for P5. It's between Kriegs and Lewis. These guys are going at it, and here comes Van too. He's trying to battle Righteous at the same time. We have two different battles here for two different spots.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch over to Gobe so we can kind of watch this from his point of view now.
And here comes Kriegs. He's going to try and go on the outside, going into turn number 1, but doesn't quite find the pace going around him. But they're going across the attack zones in normal Formula E race. And now Gobes, he's trying to go on the outside, on the inside of Righteous Fire, but Righteous Fire, he's a little quick on the outside at the same time and keeps a little bit of a gap and takes his position rightly.
Now you might think these gaps are insurmountable. They're not. Someone makes a little mistake here, and they're going to get caught right back up.
That's it. It's a mistake-driven race. You make a mistake, it's over. You're going to have to fight back for that position very quickly, or you're going to have a ton of damage, because these walls will not play nice with you.
And now Sin Black Fox out to a 7-second lead. So again, just so smooth. He's not making any mistakes here, and it's just such an easy track to make those mistakes at.
Well, as you're looking at Fox right now, I bet he just is having a good time right now. He's smiling. At our Formula One race this past Sunday, it ended in disaster for him, as he could have won that race. He was in P1. Sadly was taken out at Spa for Formula One in our finale. So, and you were there too. So
yeah, that was a tragic end for him. So he's looking for another win here tonight to keep up his winning ways in Formula E and forget all about the mishaps in Formula One. As Gobes thought about it for a second going towards the chicane, but that would have been a real bad place to try and make the move on Righteous Fire.
Yeah, no, two Formula E cars cannot get through that chicane and through the Heineken section. So,
and in the briefing, it literally said, "Do not try to go." Oh no! Kriegs gets a little loose and slaps the wall and turns 12 or 12 and 13, 12 I believe it was. But yeah, it said in
And
the
that gives.
driver's notes not to try to go too wide through 8, 9, and
Oh
10.
no! And Van takes out Righteous. Oh no, and that's definitely gonna be a report. But who knows? Maybe Goes will be a gentleman. Give that position back.
Well, Righteous is a bit far back for him to allow, but we'll see what happens if Righteous catches them up. Now,
That is very unfortunate.
8
And that's
seconds.
not the first.
8.5
Eight.
seconds.
What is happening?
And Kriegs is with Greshner, and Lewis and Kriegs together right now. So we'll take a look at these guys and we'll watch from Kriegs' point of view and see what he can do. Lewis seems to be handling the track pretty well, aside from his mishap early on in the race where he went right into one of the walls through the DHL sector, doesn't make contact with the wall. That's huge. Into the chicane, staring at the green Heineken wall. Both of them are through it clean, and Craig is right there.
Yes, he got a much better exit out of the chicane there, and able to just get right on the back of Lewis. Now as Lewis, he's trying to defend his position. He takes the inside line, and Kriegs, he's right there to follow. I thought he was going to hit the wall there, but he does not, and he continues on this warpath, really against Lewis here.
And look at this
He's
gap
trying to-
between Thornton and Lewis. 10, 11 seconds. I mean, wow.
And Thornton, he's gaining on William Neron.
He's right there, yeah.
P3.
He's less than a second behind him now. We'll try to keep our
And-
eye on Kriegs and Lewis as well. Oh, no!
And we got
Thornton got loose.
Thornton, calm it down, buddy. Calm it down. But I was gonna say, Fife, that Fox, he's just wanting to flush the toilet on this one. He is spinning around like no other around this track, and it's amazing to see what he can do.
Kriegs rubbed the wall on the exit of the DHL sector, still just a half second back of Lewis, but he just can't seem to find a way to get it done, because now this is the best spot for him to try turn 11 before he gets to the top of the bowl. And he is making up some time right now. 2/10 back, almost 3. Oh! And he hits the, just barely touches the red and white ABB wall. I almost said ABBA. Thornton now going for it on Neron here as they cross the start finish straight into turn 1. He's got the inside line, or is it the outside? I believe it was the outside line. Neron does defend well there and fights off the move from Thornton. Well done by Neron.
It seems like the outside line has been the faster line on these overtake attempts. Neron taking the outside line through turns 1 and 2, able to secure that position in turn 3, and now they're going to the Heineken chicane.
Ooh.
And now Thornton, he bumps the wall.
He was on 2 wheels. He was on 2 wheels there.
And he loses a bit of time, but he's still within a second of William here as we are going into into 35 minutes here.
I just happened to notice that we lost T-Dog, Tim Wilkins. I'm taking a look at our server to see if there's a reason why. Oh, apparently he didn't want to hit walls tonight. Well played.
Well played. Yeah, it's hitting walls can definitely be very frustrating. Luckily these cars are not going not nearly as fast as you would on a course like Bathurst. When you're ping ponging off the walls there, or let's say the Nordschleife and how tight that course is and how fast you have to run through that. So this is one of the harder courses.
Kriegs and Lewis are still a thing. They are still about the same distance from one another. Oh, and Lewis smacks the wall. That's going to allow Craig to close up, but they got to be careful here. They're coming into the DHL sector, and we saw everybody just banging into this DHL half wall up here on the left-hand side as they exit this turn. Ooh, as close as he can possibly go without hitting it.
Yeah, that was very close. You could see, there was probably, you could sense the wind coming off the wall there.
And Thornton, right with Neron.
And he's trying to go look down the inside, but Neron, William definitely defending very hard there. Getting aggressive. Now he's going to go through turn number 14.
So slow there so he could take the defensive line.
Yeah, it's a defensive line, all right. Now Thornton, he's going to use his push to pass. Now this is a huge advantage as William Neron, he's going to have to defend his position very hard as they go into turn one. And
He'll
he
hopefully get this
takes
done
the
at turn
faster
11.
line.
The exit of the chicane, I think, is where you're going to see Thornton really come flying out. If he can get a good exit out of the chicane here, he'll have the pass through turn 11 up into turn 12.
And you indeed might be right. As Thornton, he gets a little oversteer coming into the DHL section. He does take the chicane quite easily, though. And now here they come through turn 11. And it's not going to get done going into the Heineken section. William Neron, he's definitely just slowing down a little bit to make sure he has some grip and he can make it through cleanly, because a mistake doesn't need to happen. But
And
here
here
comes
it comes.
Thornton.
11 and 12. He's got the inside line.
He does have the inside line, but he goes a little bit wide. And William, he's going to fight back. Can he find the inside as they go into turn number 13? He does, but he
He
goes
locks up
wide.
Thornton on the inside. Amazing shot.
And now we're going wheel to wheel into turn number 14.
Oh!
They make contact, but Thornton, he's going to take that position and take P3 of this race. What a battle there, and what a pass by Thornton.
We will take a look at Craig now. I have to think that Thornton, with the push to pass active for about another 2 minutes, is going to pull away. So we'll see if Craig can get it done now on Lewis. Now would be a great time for Craig to make the same move maybe and go for that push to pass and try to get by the Goldenrod team.
As we're watching Kriegs right now, he is still on the back of Lewis. And Fife, you gotta admit here, this is some pretty clean racing. Obviously, the start was a little bit chaotic, but Krieg's making a little bit of contact earlier in the lap, but he's still in the slipstream of Lewis, and he's trying to get a little clean air too going into these chicanes.
And something interesting up ahead on track here, Neron has used his second push to pass because he just does not want to let Thornton get away, but he is going to not have anything left for late stages of this race.
Yeah, he won't, and that's going to give Thornton a huge advantage. Just like last week, he was able to, and Thornton, he has to be smart here. He's got to let that push to pass by William go out, as we are still watching Krieg.
Oh,
and
no!
Now Krieg's, he tried to take a huge advantage there of Lewis going wide into the first hairpin of this circuit.
And it was really smart. He checked up there because he was going to get hit if he tried to go through.
Yeah,
he's pushed to pass.
He's using that push to pass because he knows he can be faster than him going into turn numbers 1 and 2. As Lewis, he gets a little slidey there, little loosey goosey.
And we'll see about the same thing I expect. Kriegs, you can't do it here. You gotta maintain and stay as close as you can. The DHL sector and the chicane are not where you want to try it. There's just not enough time. Oh no! Oh, sideways and spins, and Craig is through. And now Craig is probably thinking, boy, wish I hadn't used that push to pass.
Well, he's going to be happy he used that push to pass, because now he can put a gap over Lewis. Now Lewis having to brake very hard. He probably doesn't even have a front wing left. That wing is probably damaged to no other, because he's taking a few shots on that as Kriegs. He takes now a 3-second advantage over Kriegs. Now Brandon Gobes. Van, he is going to be looking to pass Lewis here. As you can see, the front, you're on Fox.
I've switched back to Gobes while you were speaking about him. I just wanted to see how Fox was faring.
Fox is, he's doing quite well. But right as we're riding along with Brandon Gobes, he's
very wide.
Very wide indeed. But if you take a look at his rear wing here, Fife, you can just see the damage marking.
Yeah.
Of how bad that is. That aero damage going into some of these turns is going to be quite concerning. And for Lewis, especially because he has no front aero and he's using that push to pass right now, trying to just keep ahead of Van. But Van, he's staying very close while Lewis is using that push to pass. So a huge disadvantage here for Lewis.
Van needs to stay with him. Van has damage. Lewis obviously has damage. I think the whole field, with the exception of Sim Black Fox and Tommy Coogan, have damage. And there you go. Lewis just hit the chicane and slapped the Heineken wall. So Gobes just use that push to pass now. Maybe he feels he doesn't need it.
No, he doesn't need it, because he knows that Lewis has tons of damage as he goes wide. Now here is Brandon Gobes. He is right on the back of Lewis, who's using that push to pass. He's finding a little bit more pace coming through the final sector here as they go into the hairpin in turn number 13, and they're coming to turn 14. But Van, he is 2 tenths off of him. He's right on the rear of 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 Lewis,
Yep.
and now Van's using that push to pass.
So here we go again. Turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It's just not possible, I don't feel like. So stay clean, stay on the tail of Lewis as best you can. Be careful in case he makes a mistake. You don't want to get caught up in his mistake. And then out of the exit of the chicane, slam that throttle down. They do have throttle, right? And
Yeah.
chase Lewis down through turns 11 and into 12. We'll see what happens with this here. And Lewis is also on a push to pass, but I just don't know that he's going to be able to keep Van away for that long.
Yeah, that's going to be the question. Now, who is this up ahead of them?
That would be Craig, right? Yes, it is. He's got a good amount of damage to his front end as well, so I'm sure he's feeling the effects of it.
He has fallen quite far back,
Oof.
and now Brandon Gobes, he is still on that push to pass. Lewis has his push to pass as well, but that should be running out very soon. And we want to remind folks that is 4 minutes of 17% extra power in these electric vehicles. So a nice little boost indeed. As Lewis, he is finding that pace down the start finish straight. And Kriegs, he has fallen way back. He must have had an accident while we were looking at some other battles,
Yeah,
and now he hits the wall.
he's getting caught up very quickly here.
Yeah, Lewis is seeing him in his sights, and with that push to pass, Van, he is very close as well. He is still right on the back of Lewis. Still has that push to pass on and activated. Lewis should be expiring before Van's does, so that will be a huge plus for Van as he will find a little bit of that pace. And I thought Lewis was able to turn on about turns 3, and 4. So it should be expiring, yeah, about the start finish line this lap or next.
And I do feel bad for the poor guys out in front here who are running beautiful, clean races because they're not getting much coverage tonight as they've just taken off. As we try to keep watching the battles here, we have Sin Black Fox 10 seconds ahead of Tommy Coogan. Tommy Coogan 11 seconds, call it 12 ahead of Thornton, and then 2 seconds back to Neron on Thornton. So that could be a battle shaping up as well. But here we go. Gobes, Greshner, Kriegs into turn 1.
And my prediction was correct. That push the pass is now off for Lewis. And now Lewis, he's a sitting duck. Here comes Van with that 17% extra
And
energy.
I believe Vans should be good to last through the lap, so he will have it out of the exit of 10 into turn 11 and 12. Should be able to take it at the top of the toilet bowl, which is a really great passing zone.
He's gonna look now. He can maybe find the inside. No, Lewis, he finds a little bit farther pace, gets hard on the brakes, locks up though, defending this position, making Van make that mistake.
Just not enough track between 7 and 8, and unfortunately, that mistake might have caused Van the pass here.
That might have caused him to lose this potential position. But again, it's a long race. We still got 24 minutes here. Here at the Santiago E-Prix at Apollo Racing Club. And now Lewis, he goes a little bit wide. He's going to lose a little bit of time on that to Van, but gets a much better exit, I thought.
And I promise you, Stream, we will take a look at our leaders here and watch a couple of their laps once this battle pans out. And it seems like it may have run its course now as everyone's push to pass is up. So we'll keep our eye on this gap for you, but let's take a look at our leader, Sin Black Fox. Let's have a look at his car right now with our free camera, see how his damage is. Not too much. He's got some damage to the front, but very minimal compared to some of the other cars we've seen here. We took a look at Craig's car running the same skin, and his front fenders were completely busted up. So yeah, Sin's car's looking just fine.
And the rear of the car looks great. The back wings looking very nice as he's coming through turn numbers 1 and 2. And you got to wonder what his energy is at. Too bad we don't have that kind of information on us. But he still has his 2 push to passes, and that's because he has a 10-second lead over Tommy Coogan. All right. Well, we'll talk through this, looking at Sin Black Fox now as he's going through the Bosch corner. This is turn 11. excuse me, turn coming up to turn 8 and 9 as the Heineken chicane, as we'll call it. And he's looking very strong here as he's going through the rest of his lap. And you got to wonder what's going through his head. He does currently have the fastest lap. So that is very convenient for him to have that fastest lap. And Tommy Kogan as well. He is actually approaching, I think this is Righteous Fire. It is.
Oh, we have some
So,
lap
right.
traffic, huh?
Yeah, we'll have some lap traffic indeed happening here.
Poor Righteous Fire, 25 seconds back of Lewis. The gaps are now a bit unfortunate. The racing is very well spread out at this point. So we will just watch our leaders, bring it home in the final 20 minutes of this race, and hope they can keep it clean and don't get involved in any incidents with lap traffic or throw it away by hitting one of the many walls here at Parque O'Higgins in Chile, Santiago.
So, well, and I totally missed this, but Brandon Gobes, he overtook Lewis somewhere because Lewis probably had an incident. He's 5 seconds back now.
I think something must have happened because of the gaps. When I left for a moment to grab a drink there, Craig was only 0.7 seconds back of Lewis.
Well, Van picking up another position in P6 now, and he's going to be looking for Creeks, I think, for sure. But he's a little bit farther back. I don't even see him well, really in front of him. So
take a look with our free cam. You can kind of see him there as Craig comes through the Heineken chicane. Van does appear to be making up some ground. He was 3.5 seconds.
Taking a look at William Neron, actually. We haven't talked about him for a while this race, and he's in P4 right now. He's 8 seconds back from Thornton. You can see Thornton off in the distance and going into turn 1.
And just have a look at his car here. It is in pristine condition. He hasn't made any mistakes.
No, it looks very, very clean. Nicely done, sir. Congratulations to you in that beautiful blue and white car.
Unfortunately, these teams don't really have names. These are legally distinct liveries, we like to call them, so that the modifiers, the modders who made this game, do not get sued by the Formula E World Championship. And now we said that, and now he's taken some damage. His rear wing has now got some damage there.
Yeah, it's actually pretty badly bent on that on that left side. So, and Fife, as we are approaching the final 20 minutes here of the Formula E Santiago E-Prix at Apollo Racing Club, we want to give a shout out to Grid Finder.
Yes, absolutely. Grid-finder.com.
Yes, if you want to start your next sim racing career, head over to grid-finder.com. Over 1,000 leagues represented on there.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable indeed. And we are one of those leagues.
Yes, we are. We represent 4 divisions over there, and I will be adding a 5th one for iRacing LMP, which is starting up at Apollo Racing soon. If you're an iRacer and you like the LMP, head to apolloracing.com and apply for the iRacing division. And tomorrow I'll also give a quick bump to Grid Finder. They have their R Factor 2 GT3 and LMP2 invitational event, which will be happening at 1900 GMT tomorrow afternoon. And their streams are always quality, always very well produced and fun to watch. So if you guys are hanging out tomorrow afternoon, head over to Grid Finder on Twitch and take a look at that stream. I'm sure it'll be pretty interesting. I know I'll be checking it out.
Yes, for sure. Thornton right now sitting in P3. A good race from him last week, finishing was it P2?
Yes, he had a really good comeback last week. Made up a ton of points in the standings to get himself back into striking distance of, well, I really shouldn't say striking distance of Sim Black Fox, because Sim Black Fox has double his points, but I'm sure Thornton's happy to be on the second step of the podium right now if the championship were to end today, because he was down after his first race, and was challenging Sin pretty regularly last season, as I'm to understand. We did not cast this last season. This is the first season casting this. So, still learning some things about our drivers. And
Well,
Gobes
it is
past Craig?
no,
Yes, he did.
he
Looks like
did.
Craig had an incident because he has dropped back quickly. Usually, if we don't catch it and we don't see the gap
No,
forming, it means someone had an incident.
Craig's just going through right now. He's turn 5.
Yep, but he is behind Brandon Gobes now. He was ahead of him a few laps ago.
No, he's not. He's not. I see him in front of him.
Really? Then my leaderboard is telling me improper information.
That's Lewis.
Nope. Oh man, oh man. The CRE and the GRE throw me off occasionally.
I was
I
just like, you were confusing me. I was just like, that's Lewis.
My mouse was hovering over the G of Lewis's name, so it looked like a C. But Van is closing that gap down to Craig. I think this is a matter of whose car has less damage at this point.
Yeah, and who can survive the
Yep.
rest of this race here as we're almost hitting that 15-minute mark plus
And,
1 lap.
and Gretschner is Lewis is right there too. He's only 3 seconds back of Gobe, so we might see these guys all come together for the final few laps of this race, which would really be exciting. Would give us something to go on about.
And I gotta ask you, Fife, Formula One starting their actual testing this today.
Awesome.
Exciting. It's they're in Bahrain, which is one of the best tracks I think
Oh,
for Formula One cars.
unless you were there
So,
today where it was a sandstorm on the track. It looked
yeah.
very, very rough on the cars. Not a lot of grip to be had out there. But
Mhm.
that, you know, it's funny. Oh no! Brandon Gobes, huge mistake in the DHL sector, slaps the wall, 2 walls, and now Gretschner. I hope I'm saying his name right. Lewis, he is only 8 tenths back. And I was going to say, in MotoGP testing as well in Qatar, they were facing similar conditions with sand all over the track, and guys were not going out.
Yeah, especially when you're on those MotoGP bikes, and you know the FIA, they always wanted me. You know, they always prioritize safety, safety first. That's why you see the halo on Formula One cars, and definitely why they have the halo on Formula E cars as well, as we saw at a Formula E-Prix in Saudi Arabia 2 weeks ago. A lot of accidents were happening, a lot of cars being flipped over, and luckily having that halo save, is a lifesaver.
Yeah. People might hate the
So
way it looks, but it saves lives. It saves multiple lives. So
I
Sin
I
Black
don't get
Fox is
why
on push
people
to pass.
oh yeah, he is, and so is Tommy Kogan. So maybe Kogan can close the gap a little bit, but Kieran Fox, he is so fast as he's going through this DHL section.
Riding along with Gretschner now, Lewis. I'm just going to keep calling him Lewis because I'm not 100% sure on his last name. So I'll have to ask him after the race
Ooh.
if I'm saying it correctly. I don't think he touched it there. Misses the Heineken wall. And he's looking to close down this gap to Van. And Van is also looking to close down his gap to Craig. All three of these guys from 5, 6, and 7, they all have their push to passes left. So should be an interesting little battle here shaping up for the final 15 minutes.
It is going to be interesting as Brandon Gobes, he is now 1.5 seconds away from Kriegs.
And he got a little loose on that exit. I saw the back end slide. Now who's this coming up behind? Here comes Sin Black Fox. Lap traffic coming through for Lewis, so hopefully this doesn't disturb Lewis's pace. And Sin is still on the push to pass. Hopefully Sin will be able to just fire it by Lewis out of turn 10 through 11 and 12, as everyone else is seeming to do when they have the push to pass on. A great place to make that overtake, but the lap. Oh, and Lewis is sideways again. Please don't hit Sin. He manages to keep it clean.
That would have been very bad, very bad indeed if they would have made if Sid and Lewis made contact there. That would have just been super unfortunate.
Yep.
For Lewis.
It would have been a rough end of the week for Sin as well, having, like we said earlier, his incident in F1 2020 earlier this week, where he was on pace for a potential win and got taken out. But now Gobes only 8 tenths back to Craig, and he has really closed this gap down. He was 3.5 seconds back about 5 laps ago.
Well, it is on. The race is on here at Apollo Racing Club at the Santiago E-Prix here at Apollo Racing Club. And Fife, it's going to be a battle to the end for this P5 position. This is going to give huge confidence for Brandon Gobes because Brandon Gobes needs this to get out of that P10 slot because Van and Raja are not here, and those are the two guys in front of him. So if he can
Oh,
get a huge amount of points. And
and
now
here it
Kriegs, he
comes.
hits the wall, and Gobes, he goes on the inside. Go ahead, Five.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just, oh no! Oh no! They slap a wall
Krieg,
again. Kriegs makes contact with Van, bends his back wing, and now Sin might get caught up in this a bit. It's not going to disturb anything because he's so far ahead of Tommy Coogan as we ride along with Sin Black Fox, who is just watching this ahead of him and thinking, man, I really don't want to get caught up in this right now. And he's already made his way past Krieg, so there's one back marker out of his way, and once he reaches Gobes, Gobes will just move aside.
you sure will. Brandon Gobes, he's a gentleman racer for sure. I bet we will see a report for his incident for on Righteous Fire. Um, Again, can't really comment what the consequences could potentially what the consequences will be, but they will potentially be, could potentially be 5 seconds, 3 seconds. It really depends on really what the drivers think. These drivers, when there's a report, they vote on if
Yep.
it's a penalty or not.
A community-wide vote. You are you are being held accountable by a trial of your peers here at Apollo Racing Club in the Formula E Championship, as well as the Assetto Corsa Competizione GT3. That's how we handle it there as well. I'll tell you, it does take a lot of pressure off having to form a FIA, and we use an FIA in F1 2020, and it's a bit of work. Getting the guys to
Mm-hmm.
participate each week, having to write up the reports, having to know, write up all the reports. So it's unique. I've never seen another league do it this way, but really like it.
And as we are looking upon Thornton now, he is 23 seconds behind Tommy Kogan, and he is just kind of having a lonely race
Yep,
for
I'm just
sure.
trying to give all these guys a little bit of screen time here since the gaps are so huge. We were watching some battles early on. Sorry, I'm slurring. This spot in my mouth is so swollen that I'm literally like I can't even talk right now. But yeah, you want to get these guys all on stream tonight, so riding along with Kriegs now, who's had a love affair with the wall last lap, and
And
he's
he
gone
goes wide.
wide into the purple runoff.
And that's actually gonna, Lewis can will be hoping for those kinds of incidences because he's only 3 seconds behind. So
You know,
he's definitely going to want to make up some ground and potentially look for a P6. He's currently P3 in the standing, so he's having a rough night. Now Kriegs, he hits the wall. Oh, and so that's in a huge opportunity for Lewis now. As Lewis, he sees Kriegs in his sights. Makes it through the Heineken chicane quite easily and quite nicely.
I'm not sure
And
what I just heard, but I just had some sort of disconnect or something. I'm sorry. Hopefully the stream is still functioning.
stream looks fine on my
Everything
end.
okay? All
So,
right. Yeah,
and now
just
Lewis, he's using that push the pass now.
and he's right there. So so does Craig. Craig says, "Oh
Oh
no, no, Lewis! No, Lewis, no! Oh, oh, I thought he was going to collect Coogan there,
no!
and I'm sure
Like,
Coogan thought he was going to get collected as well.
yeah, Coogan, he might need a change of pants after that. As we're seeing Brandon Gobes now using his push to pass as we are heading into the last 9 minutes of this race, plus one lap for the Santiago E-Prix at Apollo Racing Club. If you want to join us, head over to apolloracingclub.com. If I remember correctly.
Yep, that's what it is right now. As I believe in one more day, ApolloRacing.club will be back up as our previous host held onto our domain name for 10 days. So nice of them. Shout out to Kia, our webmaster, for handling all that. Thanks for the
And
help,
now
bud.
Brandon Gobes, he actually locks up going coming into turn number 13 excuse me 12. So he's struggling a little bit, and that's going to give a chance for Creeks to kind of gain some time back. But the story is Lewis in P7. He's P3 in the standings. This is going to be detrimental to his championship run.
And we definitely knew tonight was going to be anyone's race to win, anyone's race to lose because of how difficult a track this is. It's a very short track, a minute and 9, a minute and 10, 11-second track. But the problem is you make a mistake and you're going to the back of the field. And now that the field's all spread out, that won't happen, but it just seems like people keep having mistakes happen, and it is just such a tough track. I've never seen these guys struggle as hard as they've struggled here this evening.
Well, they definitely got to just keep their heads down for sure. This is something that it's a mental game too. It's mental and skill, and just being able just to do what you have to do and practice. That's the big thing for these guys. I know Sim Black Fox. He likes to practice this mod. This is one of his favorite mods, and he practices the crap out of that. So he can drive these tracks very well. He spends the time. He does the homework. So,
Well, I figured out what that sound was. Apparently, I'm running out of disk space. Great time for my computer to tell me that.
great time, perfect timing. And Fox, he'll take his fourth win in a row, excuse me, here at Apollo Racing Club Formula E. Assuming he doesn't crash and exit himself off this race.
Boy, I hope nothing happens here. I hope I'm not adding anything to my main drive because I literally have 40 megabytes free. That's not good.
That is not good indeed, sir.
I recently just uninstalled a ton of stuff. I don't know what's eating up my disk space here, but I did make the standings image earlier. That might have done it. This is crazy. 39 megs free. Hopefully nothing happens and my stream holds out till the end of the race here. Still riding along with Fox.
Looking at Lewis again, he is only 3.5 seconds away from Kriegs again.
Lewis will spin and then he'll close down the gap. I mean, he's clearly got pace, just having a really rough night this evening. For him, early morning, as Lewis is our resident German on the grid. So we say Guten Morgen to you, sir.
Yes, it's very, would you say early for him?
Yes, that's why I said good morning. Very early. I believe it is 3 a.m. his time.
I believe so as well. So 5 minutes remaining here at Santiago. And we, very clean racing. Definitely not the most entertaining of races towards the later stages.
Now, I believe this is Tommy Coogan on the back of Kriegs. It is. Yes, it is. So Coogan here, 17 seconds back of Fox, looking to get through on Craig without any issues. And I imagine Craig will just step aside and say, here you go, bud. I'm not going to hold you up.
Well, Thornton right now, he's using his final push to pass. Coogan still has a push to pass, and so does Sim Black Fox. So Coogan, he's going to have to use one of those push to passes probably here shortly.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it. The second Coogan enables his push to pass, Sin will be paying attention, and Sin will definitely use his as well and just say, you know what, I'm not going to let you close that gap down at all.
And one thing about these cars that's so interesting, you'll see these guys only stay. Oh, there's the push pass to yours. Let's see what happens here with if Fox uses it as well. Coogan very, very nice through turns 1 and 2. And he's going through 3 and 4 and looks very clean as he's coming towards it. Now Fox using his final push to pass. We are hitting the final 3 minutes of 3.5 minutes of this race. Righteous Fire still has both of his push to passes, but he's 52 seconds behind Lewis now. So he is almost a full lap down to Lewis, and he needs to use those push to passes if he doesn't want to get lapped by the entire field. But Kogan currently,
my prediction came true. Fox, seeing Tommy use his push to pass, just answers with his push to pass and says, I'm not going to let you close that gap down at all. Going to keep that gap right around 18 seconds. It's been at 18 seconds for quite a while now, 17 to 18 seconds. And once again, Lewis closing down the gap to Craig. You know what it is? Lewis has been spinning out, but he hasn't really been hitting walls. Craig has slapped some walls very hard, so I think that's why Lewis has been able to keep closing these gaps down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lewis definitely not having the arrow damage for sure because look at turn one. You gotta have arrow for that because you are kind of going like a mid speed. Same with these corners through here as I'm on board with Kriegs as you are with Lewis. Um, if you don't have the arrow, you can get loose through some of these turns for sure.
Absolutely.
So, and now Lewis, he is very close.
Great view here of his first person halo shot. Oh, he closes up.
So close.
This is
now.
amazing that he's able to do this here as we oh, I'm not on the game. Oh no, he locks up. I'm trying to get back to the game here. There we go. I was trying to get back into the game. My mouse had gone outside of the game so that we could take a look at a different camera angle as he's approaching Craig. I somehow launched Bing.
Bing? Who uses Bing?
No one. I don't know how I launched it.
Well, Lewis now he's only half a second behind Kriegs as he gets a much better turns 1 and 2. But Kriegs, he's going to have to defend for his life here. 1 minute and 15 seconds to go here. We're going to get 2 more laps or 3 more laps.
No, they're going to get 2 more.
No.
Oh, Lewis, the DHL wall. No, there he goes again around for his like 3rd or 4th spin of the evening. And he's got to go backwards, whip it around. I'm not confident Krieg is safe. We've seen Lewis spin out 3 or 4 times and come roaring back.
He's going to be pretty safe, I think, at this point in the race.
And he just goes through the chicane, and that's going to cause him to catch the penalty. Has to maintain 35 miles an hour for a second there to clear the penalty. And now back up to speed for him. So we have 36 seconds left. Let's ride along with our winner and our championship leader, Sim Black Fox, with his push to pass active, just tearing off the front of the field by 20 seconds. He had a 5-second lead after 2 laps, never looked back, just took off. Masterclass.
Masterclass indeed. You really can't find that anywhere else. Definitely true driving talent for sure. So, well, Sim Black Fox will cross the line. That will be the white flag for him. And we'll have 1 more lap after that, and then we'll see the checkered flag come on out for the Santiago E-Prix here at Apollo Racing Club.
Just letting the TV producer give us these awesome shots of Sin's car, which still looks to be in very great shape. Might have a little damage on his front there, but other than that, very clean race.
Fox now on the final lap here of the Santiago E-Prix at Apollo Racing Club. It is the final lap. Checkered flag coming out very soon as Kogan comes across the line to start his final lap. And Nero has closed the gap now. William Neron, he has actually closed the gap onto Thornton. He's only 7/10 off. So if Thornton makes a mistake here coming through as they are hitting the tougher parts of this track, it could potentially end in shambles now. Thornton, he's on the podium. Can he hold on to this now as William Neron, he gets a much better exit coming through turns 13 and now into 14 as Thornton walks up. And now William Neron, he makes a little bit of contact on the rear of Thornton. Now they are going to start their final life.
And here comes Sim Black Fox down the straight to take the win.
And Fox, he is going to take home his 4th win in a row. Congratulations to him, but we got to keep our eye on this battle. Well, no, here we go.
He goes.
They're going wheel to wheel. Thornton, he tries to defend.
Oh, he almost squeezed him.
Almost squeezed him, yeah, right into the wall, but very clean racing
Easy,
still. And
not
here we go,
here. Not here. What are you doing?
No, And William Neron takes advantage now from the contact on to Thornton, but Thornton, he's going to fight back. He's right on the rear going into the chicane, and he bumps him into
Oh,
the
oh
highway through
no!
chicane. It's a demolition derby between these two now. And Thornton, he's going to take that position back.
Yeah, well, Thornton
Um,
got rubbed, and then Thornton rubbed back.
yeah, Thornton's going to, he said, if you're going to race me like that, I'm going to race you like that. But William, he tried to full
Oh,
send it into
oh
the
man.
in the turn 12, but it wasn't going to be enough. And William will just remain in P4.
And
And what
that's
a
gonna
race
be
from
it.
those two. And Tommy Cogan, he comes home in P2. Here comes Thornton across the line in P3 to take the
50
final podium.
seconds back of P2.
Whew.
These gaps
That's,
here at Santiago E-Prix, crazy.
and now here comes William Neron taking home P4. A nice finish from him and Brandon Gobes in P5. Kriegs in P6. Lewis Greschner in P7. And Righteous Fire coming home in P8. Well,
And
Fife,
yeah,
that was great.
that was a great race. Crazy. We knew it would be a battle of attrition. We knew it was going to be wild. We knew guys were going to be hitting the wall. But man, Sin Black Fox, Tommy Coogan, just both of them tore off and made no mistakes. And great race from the both of them. Great race from the entire field. Tough track to be here at, and I feel like that's the reason why the numbers tonight were a little bit lower. So, big respect to everyone who came out and raced in Santiago. Not an easy track, but a lot of fun to watch tonight.
A lot of fun indeed. So, well, Sim Black Flags wins his fourth race in a row and takes a commanding lead in the championship. And well, we'll see what the standings will look like next week. So,
Yes.
Fife, well, let's wrap this thing up and say goodnight.
All right, guys. We will see you all here next Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Actually, is next week a break week? Potentially a break week next week. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the schedule, which I do not have handy, as the guys all come to line up on the line here. They do this each week right before we sign off. They all love to come and just kind of give us something to look up here. P1, 2, and 3. There you go. Sim Black Fox, Tommy Coogan with a battered machine, Thornton with a battered machine. Great racing, guys. We will see you all again next Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.
We clear?